Welcome to Chasing Tents, everyone. My name is Abby. Thanks for joining me. I hope everyone's fine in this lockdown and looking after yourself. Guys, I really wanted to make a video today because this is a very common question every motorbiker gets asked. What bikes have you owned in the past? So I thought I'll make a video today because I get asked this question quite a lot, and my choices of bikes have been varied and very unusual. So let's start straight away without wasting any time, and it starts with some humble beginnings as an early teenager in India. So I had a motorbike, well, I had a scooter actually, bought by my parents called a Kinetic Honda Marvel, a two-stroke 100cc scooter, pretty quick being a two-stroke. And that was, I don't want to tell you the age, but early teenager. And you know what? In India, it's just kind of no one cared. In the mid '90s or something. I don't even know the year. I think late '90s. So that was my first scooter. I used to go to school with that. I used to go to tuitions. I used to just take that scooter around all around the place. So I loved it. It was brilliant. It was a collaboration between a company in India called Kinetic and a Honda in Japan. So Kinetic Honda, and it was a new model, a bit ugly looking, unfortunately, but it had British racing green, I used to call it, but it was a metallic green. So that was my first one. Second, then I kind of nearly joined college. I was in high school, I think, and I really fancied a motorbike. I used to really enjoy my dad's Jawa, Yezdi it was called in India, a two-stroke 250cc two-cylinder engine, and a really quick bike for Indian standards in those days. And in terms of if you were in a hilly area, it was really good. It used to just munch kilometers on hills and everything. It was just beautiful. It was very kind of nippy, being a two-stroke, and it was a really good motorbike. 1983 model that was, and I'm kind of still trying to import that bike into United Kingdom. So hopefully one day that will happen. So that really got me a taste of motorbikes. So then I really wanted to get my own motorbike, and I requested my parents, being in high school, that I want a bike which was very popular at that time. It was called a Hero Honda CBZ or CBZ, a 150cc four-stroke bike, and it was quite popular at that time. And I also wanted a lovely computer on the other side. So I just asked my parents, can I have both? And they were like, no, you can either have a very expensive this bike you want, or you can have a medium-priced bike. Plus, you can have a computer as well. So I was like, brilliant, fantastic. So, obviously you got to score marks in studies to get these things. So, it works both ways. So, I kind of dropped the idea of getting the expensive bike because I wanted a computer. So I got a computer, and my second bike was this Hero Honda Passion, a 100cc bike. And I converted that into a semi-cafe racer bike. I don't have any pictures of it, unfortunately, but I converted it into a second like a cafe racer two exhaust bike. The handlebars were quite low, and for 100 it was nothing. It was 100cc four-stroke, but you know what, for me at high school that was pretty okay. Then I moved to the UK, and my first bike, I failed my driving test twice. So I was quite upset, so I bought a bike called a Biamo Renegade. It was, later on I found, I was 18, 19. I didn't really know much about bikes, especially in England. I was here new, and I imported this bike from a company in Germany only for 750 quid. I had to do all my DVLA registrations, but eventually I came to know it was a Chinese bike, which was worth about 2,500 in England. So I got it at a bargain, brand new bike, brand new, from the box. So I rode that bike in snow, in all sorts of weather. I used to love that bike. I took it everywhere, all the colleges I went to in Birmingham and outskirts of Birmingham and everywhere. I loved that bike, but I sold that bike for £1,600 6 months later. So I made quite a lot of profit on that bike. And then I then I had a 10-year break. I was studying, I was doing my master's degree and all sorts. So I had a 10-year break. Then I really passed my big bike test and bought a Suzuki GXXR 600 K7. Yes, I know all the Suzuki jokes. Yeah, fine. So so it was just brilliant. It was a bike which gave me the first taste of racetrack at Silverstone. And you know what? all through the winter. I would never trickle charge it and do nothing with it. And I tell you what, 6 months later, it would just start straight away. And I converted that bike into a Yoshimura advertisement. Basically, it had everything Yoshimura on it: bar ends, levers, casings, you name it. The rear exhaust was Yoshi. I did everything Suzuki Yoshimura thing. It was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved that bike. Then I bought Aprilia RSV4 RF 2016. That is my bike I've still got. I love that bike. I adore that bike. It's probably the best super bike out there for kind of the balance of power and agility. It was just brilliant bike. And in the mean, when I bought that bike, I kind of got the taste of cafe racing. I love cafe races. So I got this Kingston Custom copied bike, which was a CX500 plastic maggots, they call it in England. Honda CX500 1979 model, imported from Iowa, America. And it was a brilliant bike. It was a direct copy of a custom bike which someone commissioned through Kingston Customs. And I loved it. I did a lot of charity distinguished gentleman rides. That's why you see me on the bike with a suit. So I raised a lot of money for prostate cancer and suicide prevention and mental health in general through the Movember Foundation and also Distinguished Gentleman Ride. Then I bought another bike which I really miss. I sold this Cafe Racer bike, and I sold it at a good profit. I couldn't believe it. I put it on eBay, and this guy just pressed buy it now button. He didn't even call me. He didn't even ask me a single question. Imagine you put a bike for advertisement for a price which was up in the air, and someone just presses buy it now. That's it. No questions asked. I was over the moon. So then I bought this another. I had the RSV4 all the time, still got it. But then I bought a Triumph Daytona 900. Now this was the flagship Daytona 900 when the Triumph restarted in Hinckley, and you know what? Amazing bike, absolutely fantastic. Triple 900, long stroke, beautiful engine. And you know what? It was like Titanic. It was huge. You sit on it, and you know what? Mile after mile, you will just effortlessly do so many miles on this bike, and it was just beautiful. I took it to Wales a few times. Had amazing journeys on this bike. It's a bike I sold another for fantastic profit. I just can't believe it, but I do miss it. I regret selling it last year, and I do miss it so much, and hopefully one day I'll buy it again. But that is Triumph Daytona, especially the yellow color. Absolutely brilliant bike. So yeah, that was my kind of bike collection. At one point I had 4 bikes, and now I've only got the RSV4 RF, unfortunately. But yeah, I had a few very different bikes. What I would like to buy in the future, I'd like to buy that Triumph Daytona again, but the Super 3 version. So if you guys know your bikes, there was a Cosworth tuned engine Triumph Daytona Super 3, which had about 20 odd horsepower more, I think, and carbon this, carbon that. In 93, 94, 95, that was pretty cool. Carbon mudguards and carbon exhaust, and pretty good job. And also I think it was a 6-pot brakes in front. So that is the bike I'd love to buy. Also, I'd like to buy Honda CBX 6-cylinder straight 6. Love that bike, absolutely adore that bike, and the prices of that bike are just going through the roof. It's just so much in demand, and I think the only way is now to buy it from Canada or America and import it here. It's cheaper there. So yeah, so these are my bikes I had, the bikes I'd like to own. In terms of a super bike I'd like to own, I don't know. I'd love the Aprilia. I think I'd still buy an 1100, which is the 1078cc Aprilia 1100 factory. So I just love Aprilias. I think they're just brilliant bikes. So guys, yeah, that was all the bikes I've had. And the bikes I'd love to buy. So do let me know in comments what bikes you've got and what bikes you'd like to own, and any cafe races, any kind of custom bikes you've owned. I'd love to know, because I get in touch with so many people, and a lot of people have got so much biking knowledge and what they want to have or what they've had, but I just don't know. So please do write it in the comment section. Thanks for watching the videos, guys. Appreciate your support. Please do subscribe. Please share my videos with other people, so my videos get popular. I would be really grateful. And look after yourself in this unfortunate climate with the viral and all the coronavirus going on. Take care. Thank you. Please do subscribe.